There were some parts that weren't necessary at all. I was lacking motivation upon reading this book. Or the reason why I don't read this.
Yes, welcome back to
Okay, guys, take it from the top. Louder.
A 1, 2.
Sachi Cybery YouTube channel. Shh. What's YouTube? Oh my gosh, this bracelet.
Hello guys! For the purpose of this video, it is going to be a mid-year book tag. So apparently this is my first time participating in this kind of book tag since I am just new around this booktube community. We'll be answering 10 questions from all of the books that I read around the year 2021. So without further ado, let's get started. Question number 1 will be, what is the longest book that you read? Well, if you guess it right, it is going to be The Winter from the Lunar Chronicle series. This is the last book and it is really long, consisting of 823 pages. And I have to say, this book is really floppy. If you're going to rate all of my books' floppiness, this will be a 5 out of a 5. It's the longest book that I read. Although I just have some feedback with it. I mean, like, to be honest, upon reading this book, it was not really necessary for the author to prolong the last book of the series because there were some parts that weren't necessary at all. If the author just chopped up all of those parts that weren't necessary, it wouldn't be this long. And if you have the winter book already, you can actually feel like each page is like a tissue paper already. So yeah. Oh, if you're curious, I have a review about the Lunar Chronicle series, which will appear here or here. Just click that. And now to the opposite of the last question, which is, what is the shortest book that you read? So the shortest book that I read this year, it will be If I Stay by Gail Forman. So it is really short because the text is really big and the pages, it just looks thick, but it's not. Because in a book, it's like, upon reading, I noticed that in one book, it consists of 70% of the story and 30% of the acknowledgements, book discussions, sequels to the other books of the author, something like that. It's really, really short. And this book contains only 230 pages. Yeah, 234 pages. The third question is, which characters in the book that you like the best? For me, the best out of the best characters would be Jude from Cruel Prince. Cruel Prince is one of the most books that are talked about right now, especially with its enemies to lovers trope. So going back to the question, why did I think that Jude is the best character from among all of the books that I read? To me, Jude is a really strong person. I mean, she can stand up for herself and she's really, yeah, that's one of the things that I like about Jude. She's just really powerful and she knows how to deal with herself. She knows how to stand up for herself, and that is what I like about her. So yeah, not really completing my thoughts about Jude because I've not yet finished the Folk Air series, so it's just based on my observations from The Cruel Prince. Hey Jude, if you're watching. So the fourth question is, which of the characters did you like the least? Among everything that I read, the least character that I don't like will be, oh, it's upside down, will be Jacob Quinton from the Paper Towns. For me, his character wasn't really the best because upon my opinion about his character from the book is that he's just always, he only cares about himself. He doesn't care about his friends or might be the life of his two best friends.
To cut it short, guys, I just don't like a character who's self-absorbed. Why do I sound really down?
The fifth question will be, which places in the book that you most, which places in the book would you most visit? Which places in the book would you most visit? For me, it's not literally a place, but rather a transportation. I don't know, when I was looking at my books trying to find the answer to this question. I didn't think of any other setting but the Icarus from these broken stars. So it's not literally a setting. Yeah, I just want to visit the board of Icarus. It's like a hyperspace. I just really want to see how the universe looks like outside from the telescope, and yeah, I just really want to see the galaxy, see all of the stars shining around me, something like that.
I rise. I rise.
So yeah, that's one of the places that I would most visit, or yeah, one of the most places that I would like to travel in. So the next question is a romance special, which is a book that you are rooting for a couple to get together all along. For me, it reminds me of the book Lovely War. Since of course you're in a setting of World War II and there are a lot of things that are currently happening, it's really hard for you to have a perfect relationship. So the couples that I'm rooting for are Hazel, James, Aubrey, and Colette. And to be honest, it's been months since I've read this book, and right now
Yes, folks, I'm now creating my new language other than Simlish.
right now it gives me a lot of flashbacks, and that's how this book is really special. So a bonus question, since we're in the talk of Lovely War, this is my favorite book in the year 2021. By the way, this book is not released in the year 2021. It's actually released in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, or 2019. But yeah, I just read it around this year, and I really love it. The special twist to it, the narration of the Greek gods and goddesses, it's just really all over the top, and it's not something that you would see from other books. And this book is really talked about by most of the booktubers, and I could say that I agree with them, and literally, this is one of the best books made out there. And for our 7th question, which is, which book took you the longest to finish? This is no surprise if you actually watched my reviewing all of my books video,
Which is linked down below. Yes, I gotta put advertisements here.
The book that I'm talking about is Beauty Sleep. It took me 2 months to finish this. I mean, it's not that long. It just has 400 plus pages. 400 pages. Yeah, it only has like 430 pages. The thing is, why it took me too long to read this, or why did it took me 2 months to read this, because I was lacking motivation upon reading this book. I don't know, there's nothing special to it. That's why I didn't finish it for quite a while. Parang yung in Tagalog, like, parang tinatamad akong basahin siya because the plot is not interesting. I am lazy to read this book because the plot was not that interesting, and it's really quite predictable on who's the antagonist of the story, etc, etc. So yeah, it took me quite a while to finish this. So here, the next question is, a book that is always in your TBR but never read. It is going to be Ready Player One, or the reason why I don't read this and it just ends up to my stockpile of books, it's because I mean, it doesn't have to do with the story at all, but I'm just really afraid reading this book because the sentences inside it are really small, and I'm afraid that I will take many months or many weeks to finish this. I don't know, maybe because I'm just afraid, because I'm not used to these types of format wherein the font is really small and it's really packed. So yeah, it will always be in my TBR. But I know sooner or later I will have to face this fear and I will read this book sometime. Okay, next question. A book that you're scared to read. It is going to be Memoirs of Geisha. I don't know why. Actually, my mom bought this book and she didn't read it at all. And I don't know, maybe I just don't have a thing for memoirs, or maybe I'm scared of it. And yeah, One of the reasons why I'm afraid, which is actually the same reason as before, because of the format of the book. The sentences are really small. The font is really small, and the sentences are or the words are jam-packed. Yeah, if you could see that, I'll be showing you the close-up of this book. And yeah, I'm just really afraid because my fear of reading this book is that I wouldn't be able to finish it. And it will make me feel like I'm reading Beauty Sleep all over again, which took me like 2 months to finish. So yeah, I am really afraid and I'm scared of you, Gisha. Okay, next. A book that didn't meet your expectation. A bit juicy. For me, the book that didn't meet my expectation is going to be The Crown from the Selection series. I don't know why, but I think The Heir and The Crown are two sequels from the Selection series, and I didn't really enjoy it as much as the first three books. I think that Kira Cass's magic into writing just faded away. I'm not so sure. Maybe because it didn't meet my expectation because of the character or the main character that we are following, which is the daughter of America and Maxon. I was expecting to be quite more whimsical, more romantic, the same vibe as we are getting from the first three books. And by the way, a quick Saturday shout out goes to... Yay! If you want to be featured on my next video, just comment down below and maybe your name will appear here on the screen next time. And yes, there you have it. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and please do subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this type of content. And before we end, andito yung kasabihan, ready, get set, and start reading. Bye!